Ever been cornered in a conversation where a simple yes or no feels like a trap? You open your mouth to answer, and suddenly you realize that either response makes you look guilty. In logic, this is known as the complex question fallacy. T. Edward Dahmer lays out the mechanics of it in his textbook, Attacking Faulty Reasoning. Dahmer defines it as formulating a question that inappropriately presupposes a definite answer to an unasked question. It also happens when someone treats a whole series of questions as if you will give the exact same answer to each one. This is a structural manipulation. The person asking the question is trying to force an unearned conversational victory by bypassing their own burden of proof. To see how the trap works, look at the underlying structure. The question is built so that simply by answering the explicit prompt, you automatically grant a hidden, unproven assumption. Now, almost all questions make assumptions. If I ask, when does the movie start? I am assuming there is a movie. No one is going to accuse me of faulty logic there. The structure fails when the embedded assumption touches on an issue that is still open, something that has not been agreed upon by both parties in the conversation. Instead of presenting evidence for a questionable claim, the accuser hides it inside a question. This shifts the burden of proof off themselves and straight onto the victim. Think of the first major variation as a conversational Trojan horse. A premise is hiding inside a question mark. Read this sentence carefully. What did you do with my watch after you stole it? If you answer, I didn't do anything with it, your response still validates the underlying accusation that you took it in the first place. Another version is the call for explanation. Consider someone asking, why are the children of divorced parents more emotionally unstable than those raised in unbroken homes? This prompt merely asks for a reason why something is happening, but to answer it, you first have to accept the highly debatable claim that those children actually are more emotionally unstable. In both scenarios, answering the explicit question automatically surrenders the hidden debate. Your opponent wins the core issue without ever defending it. The second major variation is the compound question. This is where multiple prompts are bundled together to look like a single inquiry. Here is the textbook example. Are you and Nancy going to the Keller-Trent wedding and to the reception next Saturday, even though you and she were not invited? Inside this single sentence are 7 distinct questions. Are you going? Is Nancy going? Were you invited? Is it next Saturday? The trap is mathematical. Demanding a simple yes or no to 7 variables actually creates 128 different combinations. When someone demands a binary answer to a compound question, they mathematically strip away your nuance, forcing you to agree or disagree with an entire package of variables. Now that you can spot the 2 main variations of the trap, you need active countermeasures to neutralize them. Step 1 is the refusal. When faced with a complex question, flat out refuse to give a straightforward positive or negative response. A simple yes or no will only entangle you in their premise. Step 2 is point out the ghost. Explicitly name the hidden assumption out loud. Tell them you notice the premise they smuggled in, and declare that the issue is still undecided. Step 3 is divide and conquer. For compound questions, insist that the prompt be formally separated so you can address each individual point safely. If your opponent pushes back and demands a straight answer, you can deploy the absurd counter-question. Try asking them, have you stopped cheating on your income tax? They will catch on quickly. These tactics instantly dismantle the structural trap. They force the burden of proof back exactly where it belongs, on the person making the claim. You now have 2 core abilities. You can spot the smuggled assumption in a Trojan horse question, and you can recognize the mathematical trap of a compound question. You also have 3 defensive scripts ready to go. Refuse the binary answer, divide the question into its parts, or counterattack with an absurd question of your own. Next time a question feels like a lose-lose proposition, take a pause, locate the hidden premise, and if they press you, do not be afraid to ask about their taxes. Logic is a practical shield. It ensures you never have to argue from a corner you didn't paint yourself into.